Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair for agreeing to participate in our program called Glimmer of Hopes, so that inshallah,
وإياك.
um, any viewers who are seeing this, hopefully we get some of inspiration, especially this is still in Ramadan, inshallah, right?
إن شاء الله.
To begin with, just inform me what is your name, your age, and your racial background, where do your families come from, and all this. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musa. I'm currently 20 years old, and my father is from Cameroon, and my mother is from Congo.
Oh, subhanallah. Okay.
Yeah.
But you were born in the UK.
Yeah, I was born in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what age did you take shahadah?
I took my shahadah at 18. It was the end of sixth form.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that age, from that age, before that, how long did you take to find out about Islam? And what were you before? You were Christians and all this?
Yeah, before I grew up in a Christian family, so before Islam.
Practicing Christian family?
A little-ish,
Okay.
kind of, yeah, here and there. But yeah, before that, I grew up in a Christian family, so I was Christian. And how long it took me before I guess, found Islam. I mean, I always knew about Islam from when I was younger, like, from friends. But from when I started kind of really learning about it, it didn't take me too long, a few months, I'll say, maybe 3 to 4 months, I want to say, approximately, if I remember correctly.
All right. So it does, that means when you start seriously looking at the deen is about maybe 17, 18, around there, right?
Yeah.
So what made you decide to plunge into Islam?
Originally, I didn't kind of decide to plunge into Islam. Originally, I was not practicing Christianity. So naturally, when I started to want to like leave bad habits, I started to go back to church and I started to read the Bible more. And
Oh, you did?
yeah, so
Okay.
so that's how it started. So as I started doing that and learning more about
This was
Christianity, I had
after after you take the shahada.
no, before I took
Okay.
my shahada. Yeah. So
Right.
before I started, looking into Islam. So yeah, so I started looking into Christianity and I had, a lot of questions, especially, to do with the Trinity, etc. And because at this time I
And
had a lot of
this is
Muslim
quite common,
friends.
isn't it? True. People are quite
Yeah.
confused, as you can see from my previous interviews, right?
Yeah.
This confusing part about Trinity, in which it has been ingrained into your mind, but nobody knows what is Trinity, correct?
Yeah. So I think I always knew that there was one God, but just because we grew up believing in the Trinity, that's what we did. But anyways, because I had like some Muslim friends at the time that I met in college in sixth form, we used to kind of just have discussions because there was some similarities as well as some differences, especially with our prophets and the belief. And then after that, having these discussions with my friends, it just kind of led me to watch a lot of videos online, just looking at articles online. And I think eventually some of my friends, they got me like an English translation of the Quran. And yeah, eventually I remember Ramadan started and I just kept learning more and more about Islam. I went to the mosque, I got some books and some pamphlets and some leaflets. And then in the middle of Ramadan or the end of Ramadan 2018, I took my shahada, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, was there any fear that you took your shahada that this is it, there's no turning back, right? Or yeah, so do you feel any
Nah, I didn't feel
hesitation?
any.
So you knew that's it, this is the one.
Yeah, I knew for
Alhamdulillah.
sure. I think actually, I think maybe the night before I took my shahada, I remember I was conflicted. I knew that Islam was the right thing, but I think I was scared to take the jump, scared of what people will think. And I remember that night I just kneeled down by my bed and I just said, God, whoever you are, up there, wherever you are, just guide me the straight path. And then I think the next day I took my shahada.
So how did you feel after you take shahada? That moment, is it wow? Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, it feels unreal. Like I don't even know how to
Happy,
explain it. Yeah,
happy
yeah,
and real.
definitely, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And of course, you and I know, right? Um, it comes with difficulties. Tests will come. This is what Allah said in the Quran, right? Do you think that you will not be tested just because you say you believe and you will not be tested? Is it true? In Surah number 29, verse number 2, right? So what test exactly did you or maybe you are still receiving now, right? Family, friends,
Mhm.
you're craving for all this food that you're not allowed to eat, drink. What difficulties that you are encountering?
I think the main difficulties that I kind of have been encountering is mainly just family. Um, yeah, because naturally the relationship kind of changed. We distanced a little bit. We had some like disagreements. Um, or for example, if I didn't want to participate in a something that wasn't permissible to participate, for example, like Christmas and these kind of holidays.
Yep.
Um, so naturally, I face a lot of hardship and as well as just worry from my family. Maybe they thought that I was going down the wrong path or that I was going through a phase.
Or extremism, right? People think that, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? But you are still Musa'S, isn't it true?
yeah,
I think you're still better. I think being a Muslim, you're better than you were before,
yeah, yeah, definitely,
right?
yeah.
In terms of like respecting your elderlies, your parents, right? Cleanliness, so everything that Islam advocates is all good for society, right? So why do you think they have all this negative image about Islam?
I think it's just one would just be ignorance as well as what they are influenced by, either whether it's from friends or family or what they see on the media.
Okay.
Yeah, so just not really knowing what I guess the real Islam is.
Is it getting better now?
Yeah,
Inshallah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think the past 6 months have definitely been a big
Alhamdulillah.
change. Alhamdulillah.
What did you do specifically to ensure that it gets better? I mean, did you clean the room more? Right?
Yeah, I
Did
think that's definitely,
yeah,
yeah, that was something that I tried to do a lot more, helping with chores around the house. That really, my
yeah,
mom really appreciates that, and just being one thing that I struggled with was like keeping ties with family. So just
yes.
texting or calling every now and then. So even if it's family that I haven't spoken to in a while, just how are you and stuff like that.
Which is what Islam encourages, isn't it true? And joining
Yeah,
ties of kinship, right? Now, does everybody know that you are a Muslim?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everyone knows. Alhamdulillah. I
And they
think I told
accept
him
it
like
now.
the next day.
Oh, subhanallah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and the repercussions that you face, right? You have to be very patient, isn't it true? I mean,
Mm.
because as you know, right? Everybody goes through this, or many people go through this journey, right? So, what advice do you give to people who are facing this similar thing as you, right? I'm sure you know, right?
Mm.
Your friends or those who are reverts, you may face, or those who wanted to become Muslim, they may face these kind of difficulties.
Ultimately, what's worked for me is constantly just kind of like when I make dua, I'm making a lot of dua, and when I make dua, I just kind of like lay all my problems, to Allah, and just you know, because I know that I will never be able to, take them on myself. The only way I'll get through them is, by Allah's mercy, by His will. So just every day, or whenever I'm going through the struggle, just, you know, just having a conversation with Allah when I'm making dua and saying, Allah, I can't handle this by myself,
Alhamdulillah.
and that, I'm putting this, all in your hands. Just guide me and make me strong, be able to stay firm upon
Alhamdulillah.
Islam.
And it's all about
Yeah,
sincerity, isn't it, at the end of it,
yeah, yeah.
right? And we know that Allah will answer our dua. But of course, we need to play our part in the sense that
Yeah,
develop our relationship with Allah. Because there's no point making dua then you're not even praying.
yeah.
Now, so how long does it take for you to pray 5 times a day after you take shahadah?
Um, I'll say maybe a month or two. It didn't take too long. Yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
because after I took my shahadah, it was the summer holidays, so I was with my friends, with my Muslim friends, like nearly every single day. So we was learning. They were
Yeah.
teaching me
It is
everything.
important
Yeah,
to have a good companions, isn't it true?
yeah, yeah.
Right? And what is your development now so far from 2 years ago until now?
Um, in terms of my deen, right now I'm focusing on just learning the Arabic language and being able to read the Quran fluently. So since then I've been yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing, learning to read the Arabic language. I can read, pretty almost fluently now, and just
Alhamdulillah.
recently started like memorizing Quran and just learning
And
the
you
deen
started to
a bit by
teach,
bit.
remember?
Yeah, and teach as
Alhamdulillah,
well.
teach
Yeah,
the Quran,
Alhamdulillah.
right?
Yeah,
And that is quite a fast improvement, alhamdulillah, despite your
yeah.
age, right? Now, so what advice do you give to people who wants to become Muslim or who are scared to be a Muslim? What advice do you give them?
I think first and foremost, is it would be
Yes.
definitely to be sincere, and like just be genuinely, seeking the truth and just asking yourself, these questions about life, like what is the purpose of my life, why am I here, and just, generally search for the truth, and taking the means to search for that truth, not just asking yourself, why am I here, what's the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of life, but you're not really, you're not really that bothered, you're not really caring or looking for the truth. You're kind of just, you just say it, but you're just not doing the part. I'd say definitely that would be the first thing. And also, for those who are already inclined to Islam, I'll definitely say, to carry on seeking knowledge about it. Ask like teachers like yourself or local imams in a masjid,
Mm-hmm.
um, who can help you and give you a bit more information and show you what Islam really is. And yeah, I think being around, Muslims, those who are a bit more knowledgeable, those who are practicing as well, and who can show you what the authentic Islam is, that will really kind of open your eyes to what Islam is.
Alhamdulillah. And also, of course, having a support group like steps
Yeah,
of
yeah,
whatever this, right, is quite important, isn't it true?
yeah,
That they will, inshallah, help you, right, to develop, inshallah, right? And also, I think meeting the Revert is quite important, isn't it true?
yeah,
Right? That you are able to share this experience in which people like me may not, we can try to understand, but we can never empathize with what you are going through,
mm,
right? So is it important that a lot of people have this mentality, I'm still young, right?
yeah,
Don't worry, right? Either you're whether non-Muslims or Muslims, right? Um, Life is, you only live once, right? Let's enjoy ourselves. Is it
yeah.
is it with the kind of mentality? What advice do you give to these people? Alhamdulillah that you are 20 at this moment, and alhamdulillah your knowledge of the Deen, right, is always improving all the time. Alhamdulillah, I can see, right?
Yeah.
So what advice do you give to people who still think that, well, you live only once, so let's enjoy.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, from my experience, I realized, like, when I was younger, that, like you said, we only live once, but, most of the decisions that really kind of affect our future usually happens from, when we're younger. So when we fall
Yes,
into bad habits, when we're younger, it's very hard to leave them when you get older, because they're so ingrained in us. We're so used to it, and usually, we face the repercussions afterwards, and it's almost too late to turn back, because now
yes,
you're forced in a situation where, because you wasn't thinking, you was just careless, and now you're forced in a situation where you have to deal with it and you have to go through all that suffering. And that's just
yes,
in this world, let alone, in the next world, where we will have to, answer to, the decisions that we made, where
yes.
where when we were younger. And so I think it's really important that young people, like really take heed to that and realize that just because they're young, one, they're not, they're still accountable. And when they're young, this is actually the best time that they should, really take advantage of this time, because if they start, being serious about their life now and taking their deen seriously now, and improving every single day, it will just make the rest of their life easier, inshallah, in this world and in the hereafter.
Inshallah. And subhanallah, and we did see the photos that you took with your brother, didn't you? Was it your brother? Right?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 2 now.
Right? And he was doing the prayer mat, remember?
Yeah.
Is it your hope, that, inshallah, that he's going to grow up
Inshallah, yeah.
to be
Definitely.
like the older brother, right?
Yeah.
So what has he's trying to do at home? He's trying to follow you in your prayers and all this?
Yeah, every time, because I usually hang up like my phobe or something, like, so that when I know it's time to pray, he knows. Every time I go to the bathroom, when he sees me make wudu, every time we come back, he follows me to the bedroom, and he grabs my phobe and he gives it to me, so he knows it's time to pray.
Subhanallah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and he helps me put the prayer mat out, and then when I finish, he helps me to fold it. Yeah.
That is so adorable.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, one last word, right? As we discussed before, right? I'll give you this word. Just explain to me a few words, right? The youth.
The youth are an important part of society, because they're the ones that are going to really change our future. They're going to be the pioneers. They're the ones who are going to take the deen from our elders and, pass it on to the next generation, and inshallah spread it throughout the world. So I think they are the key, especially, in this day and age, with how everything is changing in life.
Yes.
Everything is advancing. So, they're really at an advantage, and we just need to realize our potential and really take our
healthy, and of course, at the end of the day, death can come at any time, of course.
Exactly.
Right? Doesn't matter whether you are 20, 16, 14, and all this, right? Right. So, Jazakallah khair for this amazing interview. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide you throughout your journey, and of course, guide your family members in the right path, right? And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite us after this COVID-19 pandemic in the mosque, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala improve yourself in your pursuit of knowledge of the deen, and of course for the whatever things that you're going to pursue in this world, right? Jazakallah khair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.